I gotta say, ladies and gentlemen, the most interesting thing in the news today is the Epstein foolishness that's going on. And we're seeing everywhere where there was supposed to be a list came out, some influencers got a list, it's the flight logs, it's all the same information. But I'm gonna tell you, it's a couple of things that's going on, clearly. Number one, Pam Bondi didn't get all the information. Number two, she let Paula Anna Luna know she didn't get all the information. Number three, she snitched to Kash Patel. And number four, and finally, the information is definitely coming down the pipeline. I personally believe there are traps and snares that are set up as it pertains to this subject, as it pertains to all other things that are going on. In this video, I'm going to show you some of those traps and snares, and then we're going to spin to some other topics. Hit the like button. Let's get started, and let's go. Hold on one second. We're about to get to the bottom of this, ladies and gentlemen. This don't make no sense whatsoever. Welcome to the Dark Waters channel, where we explore mysteries, figure out the truth, dive into politics, and anything else you want to know about. That's what we're doing over here, baby. Let's go. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? The one and only James Williams, Dark Waters, and I'm back. And we're here to hit on the news. And it's a lot going on right now. I mean, when I say a lot, I mean a whole lot's going on. The number one issue right now out is the Epstein files in the Epstein list. And we're going to start with Marsha Blackburn. What Marsha has to say about the Epstein files and how they're being released. Again, I'm going to tell you guys, hold your enthusiasm on this. I don't know how much they can release based on what's being signaled. So there's signals coming from Anna Luna, who's saying she didn't get anything. There's signals coming from Pam Bondi going to Kash Patel saying people are withholding information. And then there's also videos of people leaving out of the White House with binders of information. We don't know what's what. We know yesterday we were given the expectation that it would come out today. The risk in that is people were given an expectation, and my thought process is, as that expectation was laid out, that something was given. It doesn't mean that everything was given. And I personally believe that Marsha Blackburn saying this right here is her way of expressing that no. You don't have everything. There's more to come. To try and manage expectations. But in my opinion, the expectations should have been managed prior to you doing anything. I would rather you say, hey, it's going to be 3 weeks before this comes out or a month before this comes out, than just give nothing. But we'll see.
Senator, you said you're going to release what you know. What can you tell us?
Yes, indeed, and I've been so pleased that AG Bondi and Director Patel have worked with me on this. As she said, we have to make certain that these victims, and it is over 250, that their names are redacted, they are protected. And Maria, this is going to be a phase one release in short order. I will have the hard copy in my hand. AG Bondi is responsible for what will be the public release on this. She has worked diligently on this, and so appreciative that we can begin to get this information, that we can begin to break apart what became a global human trafficking, sex trafficking ring, about $150 billion a year business. It is time to get some justice for these victims, for these women and children, and this will be a phase one release. There will be more to come.
All right, so let's just keep it real between us and the Dark Waters family. Let's think for a second. There's not going to be much in this first release. You want to know why? Because the talking point of we need to protect these victims and we need to scrub the information in an environment where you have access to AI, and we know they have an AI far more advanced than what we have, that can be done in 10 minutes. You can feed those files into there and say, hey, search these files, extract out the names of the victims, the locations, and every piece of information that would identify a victim, and it could be gone. So I'm not believing this. I'm not necessarily saying they're not going to release it, but what I'm saying is someone got ahead of the game. Who got ahead of it, I'm not sure, but someone got ahead of the game. All right. Next, on to as it pertains to the Epstein list. This is Representative Anna Paula Luna saying that she received a formal request from the DOJ on a Jeffrey Epstein. She received a response, and this is what the response said. And this is how you know it's not quite where they want it to be yet. Come on, baby, open up. Dear Chairwoman Luna, thank you for your letters to the Department of Justice dated February 11th and February 19th. We are sending an identical response to the members who joined your letters. In your letters, you requested briefings about any documents in the department's possession relating to the investigation and prosecution of Jeffrey Epstein and about the declassification of records regarding the assassination of President John F. Kennedy, Senator Robert F. Kennedy, and Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. pursuant to Executive Order 14176. You also requested written confirmation of date and location of those records released. The integrity of the criminal investigations and prosecutions is essential to every component of the department's mission to uphold the rule of law, keep our nation safe, and protect civil rights. The department remains committed to meeting with its legal record-keeping obligations as it pursues that mission. We're reviewing your request and look forward to engaging further to accommodate your oversight and legislative needs. We hope that this information is helpful. All right, so that's the response. Let's go back and dig deeper into Luna's comments, because she posted something else as it pertains to this list. Let me go back. And I want you to see this. Normally, I would go by these topics one by one and bounce around, but I want this to be a little bit more organized so you can see what I'm saying and what I mean, which is being celebrated and touted. I'm not with the rah-rah, choo-choo-rah foolishness until we actually see something going on. And quite frankly, had they handed that to James Williams would have walked out of there with that under his arm and went on about his business. I wouldn't have been holding it up in front of the camera. I wouldn't have been doing nothing crazy. I would have just walked out of it, went out of there with the list, came to the computer, and started talking to y'all. And I would have read through the information and actually thought about it. But nonetheless, let's see who's going to do what. I'm interested to see what Uncle Alex has to
Trump's
say about
AG
this.
Bondi confirms Epstein and Diddy docs to be released, exposing globalist pedo blackmail operations. Big article on Infowars.com. Here she is talking about it yesterday.
Scaring bad guys is something Cash has talked about a lot, and you have when it comes to Jeffrey Epstein and the people who are like predators in this country. Yeah. They've been given a pass, and a lot of Americans think these guys have got a pass for a long time, and maybe even are still being protected right now. Where are we at with the Jeffrey Epstein list, the documents? And Cash has made a lot of public statements about this. Where are we at?
I was briefed on that yesterday. I can't talk about that publicly, but you know, President Trump has given a very strong directive, and that's going to be followed.
Wow. Okay. So
a lot of documents.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So people can expect actual movement on this. It's not just empty promises.
Oh, Donald Trump doesn't make empty promises.
Yeah, right.
I think promises made, promises kept, and that's why we're all there to carry out his directive about making America safe and prosperous.
Exactly. DOJ releases new Epstein docs reportedly containing limited information to a group of influencers. The Department of Justice released phase 1 of the Epstein files to a group of conservative influencers on Thursday. The documents reportedly contain few revelations. The release will be over 100 pages and includes a list of contacts. Cancel. A source familiar with the files in the New York Post. The initial release will not include the client list. And the initial reveal will be a disappointment for those who wait for evidence about convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. It kind of makes sense that that's what's going on just by looking at the sheer lack of people talking about it. You know what I'm saying? You would think that there would be way more people talking about this at this point in time if it was something significant going on. Florida Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna railed against the DOJ's release of the Jeffrey Epstein files Thursday, arguing New York Post story indicated the document dump would include the deceased pedophile's phone book, much of which has already been made public. I know the task force were given in or reviewed the Epstein documents being released today, Luna remarked ahead of the file release on X. I don't know why I couldn't find this because I was on her site, but here it is. I know the task force were given or reviewed the Epstein documents being released today. In New York Post story, just revealed that the documents will simply be Epstein's phone book. This is not what the American people asked for. Get us the information we asked for instead of leaking old info, please. Now, again, my thought on the matter is going to be simple. Part of me feels as if, again, the drip is designed to provoke responses from wicked men to get them to move and do criminal activities. And so if I'm in President Trump's spot, the momentary disappointment that people would feel would outweigh, it would not outweigh me trying to capture people, because I can explain to you on the tail end the reason why I did this once you start seeing people get arrested. Now, the way this backfires against the Trump administration is if the next release doesn't have anything, or if nobody gets arrested. This is a very peculiar situation they put themselves in a dangerous situation as far as it pertains to public opinion, because they created an expectation that you would get something. They didn't have to create that expectation. They could have said, well, no, not yet. We're not ready. We're still making sure we got all the data. They could have said, hey, there's people in the FBI deleting files. They could have said, hey, we're still working on it. But they gave the expectation that people were going to get something. And so they need to do a better job of managing expectations. And the only way it makes sense is on the back end, you're going to exceed the expectations of people. You know what I'm saying? What I would like to see is under promise and over deliver. What we saw was over promise and under deliver. And it's a clear sign to me that there's some level of confusion going on, because Donald Trump's being a salesman. I don't see him over promising and under delivering. I see this as being, I don't know where this came from, but nonetheless, the only thing I can lean into is maybe, just maybe, it's designed to provoke a reaction from the deep state and cause more panic. Because if think about it, guys, you can see in the background, I can see them saying, man, they're not going to release that information. If you release that information, it'll destroy everything. I can see wicked people saying that, man, Donald Trump ain't releasing nothing. If he released that, it's going to collapse the whole society. He wouldn't dare release that. He don't have the nerve to do it. I can see people doing that. I can see people saying that and believing that and feeling as if, yeah, he's not going to do nothing. I can truly see that. So when we start talking about 3D chess moves, I can see that being a move. For example, one of the other 3D chess moves that Donald Trump just recently made that I don't think anybody's paying attention to. So there was a judge who filed, judge bans or blocks, federal judge, there was a federal judge that came out and said that Trump had to give the $2 billion to the NGOs recently. Come on, man, federal judge. He came out and he said, no, Trump, you got to release I want a good picture of them. These are the group of judges that came out and said, hey, you know what? You're going to have to unfreeze the foreign aid that's going to these NGOs, right? And nobody saw this in the news. Well, while all this confusion was going on behind the scenes, Marco Rubio came out and canceled all their contracts. So they put out, no, you're going to have to release this foreign aid. And these might be the ones, they blocked Trump from freezing foreign aid and federal grants and limiting refugees. So what the Trump administration did was they said, okay, we're not going to sit here and fight you in court. What we're going to do is we're going to go cancel all their contracts. So they went and canceled the contracts, making what these judges was doing null and void. And the beautiful thing about this maneuver, and the reason why I'm sharing this maneuver with you, and make sure this is on the screen, is because it gives you some insight into what the Trump administration, how they're thinking in their thought process. So when you come out as a judge and you think, I'm a judge, I'm going to throw a monkey wrench in the plan. And there's these organizations that you as the federal judge, you're going to protect them. Don't worry. I'm going to protect you. I'm going to make sure that Donald Trump gets you your aid. Now what he's done is he's weaponized these judges against those corporations, because now they become the ones that snitch on the corporation. So if any one of these judges, let's see, what's the guy's name? Mr. Amir H. Ali. So let's say, wow, that's a Muslim. And the other girl is Lauren Aflakan. Okay, so these are all foreigners except for the Negro. So, so let's just say Amir says, you know what? We're going to fight on the behalf of this corporation from, I don't know, India or China, and you're going to not freeze their funding. What Trump says is, okay, since you pointed out who's associated with you and who you're defending, we're going to cancel all those contracts. So now any one of these guys who brings up a case or tries to delay him, and exchange, as opposed to sitting there arguing with you, going to the Supreme Court and all the rest of this, now we just going to cancel the contract. So it's a lose-lose situation. You just took all the power from that judge. Because at the end of the day, you may say I need to release the funds, but I'll just cancel the contract. So it's a workaround. And the reason why I'm pointing this workaround out to you is because, in my opinion, this is what they're doing in every case, in every situation. Going back to the Epstein thing, I can't really see how it's a workaround yet, because I don't have all the data points, and quite frankly, I haven't sat at the computer for 5 hours like I normally do watching the news. But based on the general patterns that he uses, it seems as if this is the same thing. And I'm confident in saying that it probably is the same thing. Now, does that mean people won't be disappointed? No. Does that mean people won't be upset? No. People are going to be disappointed and upset without, either way it goes. Let's go here. Benny Johnson talks about Judge Amir Ali, the same judge that I was talking about earlier a few seconds ago, and they filed articles of impeachment against this judge. Let me make sure that's on the screen. See if I can make it a little bit bigger. And let's just verify. Come on, baby, get up there. Yes, resolution impeaching Amir Hatim Mahdi Ali, a judge of the United States Court for the District of Columbia, for high crimes and misdemeanors. Wow. Resolve that Amir Hatim Mahdi Ali, a judge of the United States District Court for the First District of Columbia, is impeached for high crimes and misdemeanors, and that the following article of impeachment is exhibited to the Senate. The article of impeachment exhibited by the House of Representatives of the United States of America in the name of itself and of the people of the United States of America. Where's the second page? Against Amir, what are they alleging? Article 1. Amir engaged in a pattern of conduct that is incompatible with the trust and confidence placed in him as a federal judge as follows. Judge Amir, in 2024's written statement to the Senate Judiciary Committee, asserted that a judge must decide issues based on an impartial and objective application of the law to the record before the court, and ensuing a temporary restraining order against the pausing of funds promulgated in Executive Order 14-1 169, Judge Lee has without merit marginalized the president's Article 2 authority, which vests the power to conduct foreign policy in the president of the United States, and has further compromised the president's fiduciary obligation to review federal agencies and programs. This patent violation of constitutional precedent, which necessarily preludes an explanation based on ignorance of the supreme law of the land, is entirely inconsistent with serving the United States as a district judge. Wow. Judge Ali is mandating an immediate outlay of funds in contradiction to subsection 3 of Executive Order 14169, has done so in a manner that is arbitrary and capricious, that the understood purpose of the president's executive order was to review such funds for consistency with United States foreign policy by mandating immediate funding distribution of funds paused by the executive order. Judge Ali did so with no consideration for the troubled history of foreign assistance through United States agency development. Wow. Yeah, they filed articles of impeachment against him. I'm not going to read the whole thing because that's damn boring. So we got articles of impeachments going against judges. So it's a three-pronged attack. You got this going to the Supreme Court to resolve this issue moving forward. You have them cutting the contracts of those organizations that they're trying to force them to fund. And then you have the impeachment of these judges. So it's a three-pronged attack hitting them immediately. Wow. Devastating. The next thing in the news that I'm trying to figure out is the Tate brothers are landing in Florida after Romania lifts travel ban. And I know there's a lot of people who have opinions on the Tate brothers. What I've said about Andrew Tate and his brother is that from a perspective of rekindling the fire of masculinity in the United States of America and in the world, it's a great thing. But there seems to be this vehement hate for these guys. And it's directly associated with them trying to be like Jeffrey Epstein or a Diddy. And I just, honestly, I don't see it. I don't. And I'm going to tell you why I don't see it. Based on what I've seen these two men go through, if they were Diddy's, if they were Epstein's, they would have never got out of prison. If there was any truth to anything that was alleged against them, they would have never gotten out of prison. But what I don't understand is why the governor of Florida would come out and be in opposition to them landing in Florida. I don't understand why Ron DeSantis took this stance. And I'm interested in hearing from you. Why would he take a stance like this? It just hasn't dawned on me. Like, I know there were allegations of them grooming some girls and having them as Instagram models and all the rest of this foolishness. But I haven't really seen any evidence of it. I haven't. And it may be ignorance on my part. Probably is ignorance on my part because I just feel like I wasn't going to dig into it. But here's what I know. When I see them being attacked online, the attacking points of grifter, fraudster, all those things are things that I've seen people try and say about me, and I'm the exact opposite. And so when I see organized talking points against an individual, and it's repetitive organized talking points, I know that it's either a small group of people who've created multiple accounts to attack them and try and defame them, or in these guys' cases, it's a larger infrastructure that's coming against them, like corporate infrastructure that's coming against them, which falls in line with everything they've been through with them being put in prison in Romania and all the rest of that. So I just don't see it. I don't see it. But here's Ron DeSantis coming out and saying, yeah, he don't want them to land in the state of Florida. I don't get it.
Is he welcome here? What the state do? Send back to Romania or whatever?
We have no involvement in that. I read about it through the media. Clearly, the federal government has jurisdiction, whether they want to rebuff his entry into the United States, and I have confidence that whether it's Pam Bondi or Kristi Noem, that they will be looking at that. I do know our Attorney General, James Uthmeyer, is looking at what state hooks and jurisdiction we may have to be able to deal with this. But the reality is no, Florida is not a place where you're welcome. with that type of conduct in the air. And I don't know how it came to this. We were not involved. We were not notified. I found out through the media that this was something that was happening. Okay, guys.
I don't get it. I really don't get it. I don't understand what the deal is with the Tate brothers. Let me see. Let me just see if there's anything else posted. I truly don't get it. Let's give it a play. Let's give it a play and see what this guy's saying.
That teaches basically how I got girls, how I met girls, how I got girls to like me, how I got girls to fall in love with me to work on webcam for me. Because that's what I did. That was my MO, was find girls, make them love me, and make them work for me. And that's how I got rich. So that teaches everything I know from start to finish about not only getting girls, not only obtaining them, but retaining them. I used sex as a tool to make women love me so they'd obey me and live in my house and make me money. That's what I wanted. So I was a pimp in that sense.
Well, damn, I can understand now. If this is what's coming out of his own mouth, okay, Andrew.
I was not trying to have
Let's take a little bit of a listen to him.
Sex with women. I was trying to get women to obey me, and I realized that's easier if they like to have sex with me. If they don't like having sex with me, it's pretty hard to make them listen to me. I don't mention webcam until after I've had sex with the girl. Your bottom bitch, the new girl, you go out for fucking a nice dinner. Your bottom bitch is the one who does the selling. You don't do the selling. The girl has to hear it from a girl. And this is where your bottom bitch has to be trained. That's why I said it's so important to have a good first girl.
Well, that solves that problem. You know what I'm saying? That solves that problem. That's him in his own words. So that solves that mystery. And how many seconds was that? 59 seconds? Well, I'll be damned. Moving on. Hell, now I understand why they don't want him landing. Moving on to the next thing. This is something I think is very important. And my voice is cracked a little bit, guys, from... Never mind. It's cracked a little bit. Not because of sinuses, but anyway. This is something I think was missing in the Trump administration. You know, there's the stick that they're using against illegal aliens, but there was no carrot, in my opinion. It was, we're going to bust you across your head, we're going to run you out of here. So now they've instituted a carrot where they say, hey, sign up on this list and register, and we're just going to fly you home. Don't make us track you down. Don't make us send you to Guantanamo Bay. And again, this shows really great planning on their behalf. And somebody will say, well, DW, you know, how does this show great planning? Because you had to establish that we're willing to come get you and we're willing to put you in a place that you don't want to be. But what you can't do is you can't back people into a corner and put them on death's ground and make them feel like they're fighting for their lives. You have to give them a way to retreat. So this is them giving these people a way to retreat, a place to run, say, okay, I had enough of this fear. Okay, I had enough of this drama. I can sign up and take my whole family. We can go back home. You have to give people a way out. Because now, if you put yourself in the shoes of someone who came here illegally and someone who was invited here, quite frankly, which what most people don't understand, these people were invited by Joe Biden. He said, yeah, the border's open, come on in. He literally said that. So they were invited to break the laws of the United States of America. And so they did it. And then they brought many of those people in here under programs where they flew them in, gave them IDs, gave them all the rest of the stuff. The refugee program. So they brought those people here. Some of these people actually believe they came here legally, even though common sense tells you you ain't come here legally. If you read the news, you know you didn't come here legally, but nonetheless, you have to give people a way out. And I know it sounds like I'm being like overly nice about it, being genteel about it. But the truth of the matter is, this is the way to actually get more people to leave. You need both the carrot and the stick, but you had to establish that there was a rod, a metal rod that would break you upside your head. And Kristi Noem is the perfect person to come out and say this genteelly. So she's good cop, Tom Homan's bad cop. So here's good cop talking.
Well, we are putting in place and enforcing the Alien Registration Act, which is using every single tool that we have at our disposal to do exactly what President Trump promised the American people. The Alien Registration Act says that within 30 days of being in this country illegally, someone must register with the federal government. They will be fingerprinted. They must announce that they are here. And if they do so, they can avoid criminal charges and fines, and we will help them relocate right back to their home country. And what this does is provide them an opportunity to come back someday and to be a part of the American dream. If they don't register, they're breaking the federal law, which has always been in place. We're just going to start enforcing it to make sure that these aliens go back home. And when they want to be an American, then they can come and visit us again.
And it's a beautiful carrot.
Well, we are putting in...
I mean, it really is. So here's your choice. You're here illegally, you haven't identified yourself, you're not a criminal. I mean, not a criminal in the sense of Trey Daragua or a cartel member. You're not a hardcore criminal. Everybody who came here illegally broke the law, which makes them a criminal. But you're not a hardcore criminal. You're not running around grabbing people, kids, throwing them in the back of the ice cream van, doing stuff like that. You actually came here and got a job, right? And you've been working. But you're living in fear. You see a white van pull up outside the house, you take off running. You know what I'm saying? Some guy go out there with a fake ice jacket on, you haul behind because you're afraid. Here's what they come to the table and say, all right, Kristi Noem comes out and says, look, we're going to make sure you need to register, baby. Yeah. I'm Kristi Noem and I need you to register, honey. You're going to need to register yourself. And then when you register yourself, what's going to end up happening is we're going to fingerprint you. And we're going to know who you is. You're going into our system. And then once we get you into our system, we're going to give you an opportunity to go home and get in line and come back the right way. And if you really think about the position that majority of these people are in, they've been here for 4 years. Let's just say somebody who came in as early as possible on Inauguration Day, which if you remember on Joe Biden's Inauguration Day, there were caravans on their way to America. So let's say somebody who caravanned into America the day of Joe Biden's inauguration, got in, they got into the whole system. They got on welfare, they got SNAP, they got everything, they got the cash. And just based on what we've seen, people were getting $15,000 a month, right? So $15,000 a month over 10 months is $150,000, take another 30. So they made $180,000. And then they got that over 4 years. So you got 400. And then you got 4 times 3. So you got damn near, that's a lot of money. Oh my Lord, that's a lot of money. So you damn near got $800,000 in benefits from the United States of America. Wow. Wow, that's crazy. That's insane. That's a lot of money. But nonetheless, do you know what it would do for the average American citizen if they got almost $800,000 worth of benefits over a 4-year period? Man, people would be... Anyway, let's stay focused. Close to $800,000 is what's passed through your hands in multiple different ways since you've been in the United States of America. They're not even clawing back the money out of accounts. A lot of that money's been sent back home already. So you came here for 4 years, lived here for 4 years, came up. If I'm one of them, I'm saying, hey, man, I got enough money to go home and buy me a house to do. I'm going home. Hello, my name is James. My name is Jesus. My name is Hami. I'm going back. Hit my fingerprints. Send me back. Because I'm fine. I'm going back balling. I'm balling out of control compared to where I was. It's a great idea. And if I know there's going to be people who complain about it, but quite frankly, it has to be done. There has to be a way for them to get out of here without you chasing everybody down, because you can't chase everybody down. But guess what it does? In a city like New York, it puts a dent into the illegals in New York. Because now the illegal in New York knows that it's just a matter of time before ICE gets to them. Right now, they're focused on criminals. But at some point in time, they're going to come to me. If I could just self-deport and not have to pay for my trip back, yeah, I'm doing it. I'm doing it and doing it real quick and getting it over with. let's talk about Christian persecution real quick. It's on a rise in nations that have decided that they're going to bring in Muslim populations. An amazing thing is, I don't think people really get what's going on. So you have them open up their borders to Islamic populations, and then you have Satanists. That's what these people are, in control of those governments. And they love to persecute Christians. And so remember, J.D. Vance talked about how in the UK and in Germany, they were not only censoring people, but it was Christian persecution. I'm pretty sure J.D. Vance just had a back and forth exchange with the president of Keir Starmer as it pertains to this. And we're going to touch on that, but watch this. This is a young lady in Scotland talking. Listen.
I should be really clear. Praying in of itself is not an offence under this bill. We are not banning prayer under the Act.
Performative prayer. If you're standing at a window with your hands together in front of your face in that classic kind of, that classic image of prayer, if you're standing at a window so people can see you, then could it be interpreted as an offence?
That then depends on who's passing the window and whether anybody can. So he's not wrong, is he, J.D. Vance? No,
he's not wrong.
He is wrong, because if I don't know anyone that can pray loudly or performatively enough to be seen from outside their own house.
When I get to praying, you can hear me outside my own house. Yeah. If I get to really praying, you're gonna hear me out in the street. Yeah. So it's totally ridiculous that a person who's praying inside of the house, I don't give a flying flip. Like, you shouldn't be bothering me. This is why nations like Scotland and the UK, they are going to fall. You might as well cancel Christmas. They done. Here he is.
I said what I said, which is that we do have, of course, a special relationship with our friends in the UK and also with some of our European allies. But we also know that there have been infringements on free speech that actually affect not just the British. Of course, what the British do in their own country is up to them, but also affect American technology companies and by extension American citizens. So that is something that we'll talk about today at lunch.
We've had free speech for a very, very long time in the United Kingdom, and it will last for a very, very long time. Well, no, I mean, certainly we wouldn't want to reach across US citizens, and we don't, and that's absolutely right. But in relation to free speech in the UK, I'm very proud of our history there. We discussed all this.
Now, what I like about J.D. Vance, what I like about Donald Trump, what I like about this whole entire cabinet is they say it to people's faces. They really do. Watch, Donald Trump even says this to Keir Starmer. Donald Trump, watch this. When it comes to them trying to fight Russia, he even says it to his face.
Just to follow up on that, if British troops are in Ukraine keeping the peace and get attacked by Russia, will you come to their aid?
If the British people are in Ukraine and they get attacked,
if British soldiers in Ukraine.
I've always found about the British, they don't need much help. They can take care of themselves very well. You know what? No, it sounds like it's evasive, but it's not evasive. The British have been incredible soldiers, incredible military, and they can take care of themselves. But if they need help, I'll always be with the British, okay? I'll always be with them. But they don't need help. You look at their career, you have done very well over the years, haven't you?
We have. I'm very proud of our country. But we've also always been there backing each other up between our two countries. That is why this is the greatest alliance for prosperity and security I think the world has ever seen. Whenever necessary, we've absolutely backed each other up, and that's at the
Could you take on Russia by yourselves?
Well,
all right, one or two more.
And there it is. You know what I'm saying? There it is. Here's the problem with American media. They have this manner of putting our politicians in very bad situations with their questions. He shouldn't have had to address that kind of question. But nonetheless, what I love about him is at the end of it, he gets to the point and says, hey, he wants to prove the point. The right answer is, yeah, of course, because we're allies. Of course, we'll back our allies, blah, 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 blah. But then he hits him with the most important question. Could you beat him by yourself? And look at Keir Starmer's reaction. Let me make this bigger. Make sure this is on the screen. Look at what Keir Starmer, look at the look on his face. Because he know good and damn well they ain't about to beat that bear on their own.
I'm very proud of our country. And but we've also always been backing each other up between our two countries. That is why this is the greatest alliance for prosperity and security I think the world has ever seen. Whenever necessary, we've absolutely backed each other up. And that's at the
Could you
core
take
of
on Russia by yourselves?
Well,
look at that look.
And that's at the
Could you
core
take
of
on Russia by yourselves?
Well,
he even knows he can't take on Russia by himself. And that's Donald saying, Trick, quit playing. You know you can't beat Russia by yourself. Ain't nothing you can do with Russia. And look, everybody starts laughing. Even Donald starts laughing. Like, but you know you can't do nothing with Russia.
All right, one or two more.
Look at him. Just embarrass the man. But it's done in such a smooth way that when Keir Starmer gets on the plane to go back home, he's going to be replaying this conversation in his head over and over and over again. Be like, that son of a bitch, Donald J. Trump, did he just ask me if we could take on Russia on our own? I can't believe he said something like that. Donald will be at home chilling with his beautiful wife, hanging out, grabbing on her butt. Say, babe, come over here. Let's sit down, talk. Keir Starmer's brain will be on this conversation for the rest of the night. That's the unique thing that Donald does that really no other politician does. He plays mind games. And you can kind of see him playing handsy because Donald has this thing where he's handsy with people, but it's his way of establishing dominance. Like he'll touch their knee, he'll touch their arm while he's talking. But it's a way of establishing dominance on people. And for politicians like Keir Starmer, matter of fact, let me even show it to you right here. Notice
for prosperity and
the body posture of the two of them.
Ever seen. Whenever necessary, we've absolutely backed each other up, and that's at the core.
Notice that Keir Starmer has his legs crossed like a woman. The reason why women cross their legs like that is because of the things that they have down there. And notice the alpha male position with Donald has where his legs are spread, hands between his legs, slid up to the front of the chair, ready to bounce on his toes, like he's ready to pounce on somebody. And look at Keir. It's clear when you look at body language who's the most dominant person in the room. And that's Keir's natural body language. It's Donald's natural body language. When we saw Macron there, anytime you see Macron with Trump, he's going to be mimicking Trump. It's every time. And mimicking, never mind. Mimicking is a very powerful thing that you can do when it pertains to someone, but you'll notice it. I'm interested in seeing if he yanks this dude around and how he's going to treat him.
Ready, close. Ready, shot.
I'm going to tell you right now, watch this. I want you to see how flush Keir Starmer's face becomes when he looks at Donald Trump. And I want you to see how Donald prepares for him to try and play something like yank him by tapping his shoulder. So in case he yanks him, he going to yank him back. Watch this. I wish we could slow this down. I think I can slow this down. Can I slow it down? I'll slow it down just a little bit. Watch. Prepare in case he tries to play a yank game. Now see how flushed this guy's face gets? Watch how he gets beat red. Boom, flush. And he stops him from encroaching on him. Pats him on the shoulder. Starmer is clearly self-conscious because he goes to check his clothes as they make that eye contact. Now Donald's crushing his hand. He has the upper hand grip. He's literally crushing a man's hand right now. And there it is. These men are no match for the president that we have. They're no match for him. Look at him. He knows he's with a rock star. Look at him.
Yes, we can. We can. We will. Thank you.
He knows he's with a rock star. So they can sit there and talk all that foolishness they want to talk. They can say whatever they want to say. He knows he's with a rock star. A full-on rock star. Let me see if I can get this from a different angle.
President Trump.
You can see it even better how beat red he turns right there. Like he's like just I'm down. Oh my God, I'm with the president of the United States. Oh, what am I gonna do? All right, I'm back and we're starting this over. Gene Hackman and his wife found mummified in Santa Fe compound, pills found scattered in the bedroom. As Gateway Pundit previously reported, actor Gene Hackman and his wife Betsy Akawana were found dead on Wednesday afternoon along with the family dog. At first, TMZ reported that carbon monoxide poisoning was to blame for the deaths, but Daily Mail later Thursday reported that Hackman and his wife were found mummified in their Santa Fe, New Mexico compound. Authorities were unable to immediately identify the bodies because they were poorly decomposed. The Daily Mail reported that the prescriptions pills were scattered on the bathroom counter near Akawana's body. That don't make no damn sense. That don't make no sense. You're trying to tell me these people ain't have nobody in their family? Nobody. These rich ass people didn't have nobody that wanted to check on them? That nobody said, hey, I ain't heard nothing from Gene in a while. You heard from Gene? Nah. Nobody called Gene and his wife. Nobody went over and knocked on the door. Nobody said, hey, where's Gene? I don't believe that. I don't believe none of that. I don't know what the hell happened, but I don't believe what the hell they saying happened. I don't believe that whatsoever. This I want to cover. Blaze News Original. Barbaric attacker destroys elderly pro-lifers face outside Planned Parenthood. Victim awaits justice. This is something we should cover. Ladies and gentlemen, the most dangerous thing you can do in America is to go and try and protect the unborn. And this is, I'm sorry, if you're going to go to an abortion clinic and you're going to protest, you need to have hands. I'm sorry, you need to have some hands. And what needs to happen is the protesters need to be ex-military guys that go out to protest. The protesters need to be biker gangs that go out to protest. They pull up the bikes. Vroom, vroom, vroom. It needs to be people who are willing to throw hands, because the attacks that happen at these centers are just demonic. And if you don't understand, if you're going to an abortion clinic and you're going to protest, that you're going to run into demonically infused and demon-filled people, then you don't have a clue as to what's going on in this world, and you don't need to go there. In fact, it won't be hard to find a demonically charged person that has something to do with it right now. Watch this. Because I remember the guy, he was like, ha, ha. Here he is. Watch this. Come on, Demon Doc. Watch this.
Repent, sir.
This is what you're dealing with right here.
You got to repent, sir, for murdering babies.
Why?
Because it's a sin before God.
Why?
Wow.
Stinky breath.
Yeah,
Why?
that's pretty evil of you, sir.
Yeah, I am.
And I hope and pray that you...
Yeah.
Well, that's what you do to babies, huh?
Yeah, I love it.
You love it, huh?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, I hope that you come to Christ, sir.
Oh, I never go to Christ.
I hope that you come to Christ,
No,
sir.
I don't go to Christ.
Yeah,
I don't listen to Christ.
You will have a darkened heart, sir.
I do have a darkened heart. Yeah.
You have a darkened heart.
I do very, very much so.
And you will stand before God in judgment day.
Yes, I will. Every day.
You will stand before God in judgment day.
Yes, I will. Every day.
All of the babies that
I
you have
love it.
killed.
I love it.
Yeah, keep tearing the babies apart.
Yeah, I will.
Keep tearing the babies
I
apart.
will.
Dr. Santana,
Keep.
And see, what's most pressing about this, and what nobody pays attention to, everybody hears what he's saying. I'm going to rewind it, and I want you to look at this black woman's face. Now, he's going full on demon. And I want you to don't listen, don't pay no attention to him. Pay attention to the sister in the background. This is him going full on demon. That's him doing his demon. Yeah. But watch her. Keep your eyes on the sister and watch her reaction. Start it over.
Repent, sir.
So you understand that it's full on demons at these places.
You got to repent, sir, for murdering babies.
So she gets in between the two. The demon goes around her because she was trying to keep the thing calm. Here it comes. She knows it's a demon because look how she stepped back. Look at it again. Watch.
Repent, sir.
She looking like
You
go
gotta
that way.
repent, sir, for murdering babies.
He asked a question. She looked. Oh shit. Now watch her get back.
Why?
Because it's a sin before God.
Why?
Wow.
Stinky breath.
Yeah,
Why?
that's pretty evil of you, sir.
Yeah.
There it is. What's funny about this exchange?
I am.
And I hope and pray that you.
Yeah.
Still smiling. What's funny about this exchange?
Well, that's what you do to babies, huh?
Still smiling. What's funny about the exchange?
Yeah, I love it.
You love it.
Look to the left.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
What's funny about
I hope
still
that you
smiling?
Come to Christ, sir.
Oh, I never go to Christ.
I hope that you come to Christ,
No,
sir.
I don't go to Christ.
Yeah,
I don't listen to Christ.
Still smiling.
You will have a darkened heart, sir.
I do have a darkened heart. Yeah.
You have a darkened heart.
I do.
Now she not in agreement. You see what I'm saying? You thinking you going to a place where there's people who are not demonically charged. No, you going to places where demons are. Period. Demons. So it's no wonder why the man got his face bust wide open, because he going to Demonville and don't understand he going playing around with demons. And I want to be clear with you. See, this is the thing about race. People be like, oh, the white man. No. That's a sister right there. She know better than that fool. You wonder why? Because she's just a demon wrapped in some dog-ass skin. That's it.
I do very, very much so.
Not in the head. You see, like, yeah.
Yes, I will. Every day.
You will stand before God in judgment.
Yes, I will. Every day.
All of the
They're
babies.
like, bring this crazy behind you. And now she's smiling again.
Keep tearing the babies
Yeah,
apart.
I will.
Keep tearing the babies
I
apart.
will.
Keep tearing the babies apart. Yes, sir.
And that demon snap out of it and go back into the building.
My friends.
I said this yesterday, and I'm gonna play this, and we're gonna cover this one more time.
But Intel doesn't like being told what to do.
But I said this yesterday.
When they
I said
saw
that.
Musk with the chainsaw.
Stop it. The CIA, when USAID cut off their funding, the CIA found themselves in a terrible position, especially every criminal inside the CIA. Which, if we just gonna keep it real, the CIA is the intelligence arms army. I mean, let's just keep it real. It's the army of the intelligence wing of the government. So when you imagine the FBI being like a domestic organization that deals with things on our domestic soil, the CIA is the ones that deal with things all over the world. And in some cases, I could see where the CIA itself, the funding being cut off, affects a lot of them negatively. But at the same time, these people are supposed to be patriots of the United States of America. So to come out and say that you're going to release information and leak information to foreign nations is very dumb. The reason why it's dumb is because now you're blackmailing, and in many cases, graymailing, as I was saying yesterday in a live stream, the United States government. The problem you have is, as if you defect and try and become an asset to another nation, you're like, oh, I'm going to share secrets that, so let's say you defected to, I don't know, Germany. You say, I'm going to go to Germany and they're going to give me a new ID and they're going to give me a new place to live and I'm going to be a spy for Germany and I'm going to tell them all the stuff that I have on America and you're going to keep me safe and I'm going to have millions of dollars. And the problem that you run into is when you had Barack Hussein Obama in office, it will work. If you had Joe Biden in office, it would probably work because they all rank devils. The problem that you run into as a CIA agent with somebody like Donald Trump in office is he already done came out and said that all you bastards was crooked. So it's not like if you went to Britain and you said, oh, I'm going to tell you about all the dirt that happened in America and what they did. Let's say they went to Britain and said, yeah, no, Britain probably was in on it. Let's say they went to India and they said, well, the CIA is the one that released the Bitcoin and it's their way of tracking everybody on the blockchain. And there's no privacy to Bitcoin. And what are you going to do? You going to tell the whole world? You think anybody will let that information go out to the whole world? I don't think so. I think they put a bullet in your head. You got to worry about them putting a bullet in your head. You got to worry about the U.S. putting a bullet in your head. You got to worry about all these different things. I just don't see. I understand what's going on, but I don't see how they feel like that's going to work out. I just don't see how they can see a light at the end of the tunnel with this behavior pattern. Now, the only way I see you going that far down that road is if you know that you've done so much dirt. I mean, you did so many wicked, dirty things that you have absolutely no choice. But even in that case, there are smarter ways to handle it than threatening to release secrets if they cut your budget. That's just dumb. I'm sorry. Because if I was the president, I'd cut your budget immediately and say, okay, you go release the secrets and we're going to whack you. Release what you're going to release, and we're going to bust your head wide open to the white meat. And I'm not going to let you just have leverage over me. And then you get into the whole spy game, trying to find dead man switches and finding where they got stuff hidden and this and that. You get into all the spy games, which, quite frankly, America and Great Britain started the spy games. And then you get into Israel spies, and you get into all this. Everybody got dirt on everybody. Somebody going to whack you, though. I don't even understand it.
Doging foreign aid.
It's not a winning proposition.
CNN. If you doge us, there will be consequences. On the CIA's 7th floor, home to top leadership, some officers are also quietly discussing how mass firings and the buyouts already offered to staff risk creating a group of disgruntled former employees who might be motivated to take what they know to a foreign intelligence service. The CIA is telling CNN that if their funding gets cut, they're going to sell state secrets to Russia. Who the hell hired these Benedict Arnolds? The CIA is supposed to be filled with patriots, not sellouts. And the FBI is up to no good, too. Michael Schellenberger is reporting a source inside the FBI says the Bureau is destroying evidence. Now we know what their accomplishments were last week. Dear Elon, I wiped the servers cleaner than crooked.
I mean, and I'm going to tell you guys, this is about par for the warfare that America's going through. I would expect this to happen. If this wasn't happening, I would be confused. You know what I'm saying? All right, guys, I'll be back in the morning. Love you.